Hello, listeners. This is the Risky Planner Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, Albert.
Hey, Nate.
How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm really excited to have this conversation with you today.
Oh, and what conversation is that?
That is about our podcast.
That's right. We have a podcast.
We have a podcast, folks. Believe it or not, the Risky Planner.
Now, for some of you, this is not coming as a surprise because you've already been listening to the podcast, which in fact has been out for some time now.
I'm not good at keeping secrets either.
Yeah, indeed.
The podcast is for professionals that we work with that are responsible for project management, project controls, risk management for capital projects. You know, they're tackling complex project delivery challenges, as we like to say.
Yeah.
Estimating, scheduling, supply chain, et cetera, et cetera. What else are these folks handling?
Well, let's get into that in a bit. But first, why don't we introduce ourselves? What do you say? Like our audience should know who they're talking to.
Where are my manners? Where are my manners? Albert, who are you?
I am Albert Breyer, and I am our Director of Project Controls at Docanish & Company. I have been doing project controls or project management in some form or another for the past 16 years.
That's right.
I've had the privilege of working on lots of different kinds of projects in different sectors for a whole bunch of different clients. Lots of financial stuff, lots of RFP reviews. Back in the day, I've managed projects. I've managed project controls organizations. I've set up new processes. I've built out new system stacks and that sort of thing. So,
and you're purveyor of metaphors.
That's true.
I'm Nate Habermeyer. I'm Director of Marketing at Docanish & Company, and I can't really think of an industry I haven't done marketing in. I mean, Barbie, an armored vehicle manufacturer.
Were clients of yours at the same time.
Were
right?
clients of mine at the same time. And actually, I was going back through my experience, and not only were those two clients, but I was also working with a international casino conglomerate based in Las Vegas that you would probably recognize, and working for them and doing PR. So, I mean, like
the trifecta. You've hit the hat trick.
I guess so. Barbie, armored vehicle, and casinos. But I have 20 years of experience in building demand and awareness for all kinds of different brands. And now I'm with Docanish. What does Docanish & Company do, Albert?
So Docanish & Company is a company that sits right at the intersection of project controls and system implementations. So we have our roots over 10 years ago in our founder, Tarek Docanish, going off and combing the nuclear industry for opportunities to improve their digital processes and their software stack and their PMOs. And so we had a very small team back then that went and did some pretty exciting work, including helping to establish one of the PMOs the PMO for OPG that has recently won 2 awards for its, it's an internationally recognized high quality PMO. And that's us. That's the start of who we are. So from there, we've expanded our service to include all kinds of things like staff augmentation for project management and project controls, system implementation, process improvements.
That's right. Organizational change management is key to that.
Absolutely.
Albert, why is it called the Risky Planner?
Well, Nate, I'm so glad you asked. It speaks to the heart of what we do as a company and what this podcast is going to be all about.
That's right.
It's about the intersection of risk and planning and all that entails. And I'm a big believer that risk is everything in project management. Almost everything that any project manager, project controls manager does on a daily basis is to control risk. Risky planning is planning, in my view. It's all the same. Yeah. The second reason why it's called the Risky Planner, Nate, is because that's one of the names that was available on the internet.
The URL was there.
The URL was there.
Yeah.
Nobody had a podcast by this name. There's 9,000 podcasts for every topic, you guys.
So the Risky Planner, I mean, the whole impetus for this podcast, and it's really focused on our audience that are executive sponsors of capital projects or change initiatives, digital transformations at their organizations. It's for project managers, risk managers, business analysts that are working.
Anybody in the capital projects ecosystem really should get something out of it.
Exactly. And that's what we talk about. What kind of things do we talk about on the Risky Planner?
Well, we have a bunch of episodes already in the can, and we've talked about all kinds of stuff. It's usually somewhat timely. It's somewhat newsy.
It truly is. Yep.
We try to keep up to date on the state of the art in project management and try to tie that into current events to the extent that we can.
In all seriousness, like the political, socio-economic, whatever combination of those words you want to talk about. I mean, whatever's happening at that level is trickling down. It's affecting the folks that we work with on a day-to-day basis. And it's affecting the projects that they're trying to deliver successfully.
So we try to bring all that stuff together. We try to make it entertaining, interesting. It's well researched and informative, but it's also short. We keep it light. The tone is conversational. And we said earlier that it's for project professionals, and it is. But I'd like to think that it's for anybody who is interested in learning more about how this world functions.
And we're pretty funny guys.
Yeah, we're
pretty
hilarious,
funny guys,
as you can tell from this intro episode. The other reason why we're doing this, Nate, is because there's a lot of stuff that every project does that just doesn't work.
That's right. Like what?
Well, a good example is approving projects with numbers that are absolutely unachievable. Schedule targets, cost targets, not enough contingency, not enough accounting for risk, hence the title. Mm-hmm. Those kinds of things. It's absolutely across the industry, across all industries, that projects are not approved with a fulsome, robust, rigorous planning exercise underpinning them. And that leads to a lot of risky deliveries, not just risky planning. So we want to shine a spotlight on some of those practices and talk about how you can avoid them and do that sort of thing. We tell stories from real projects that we've worked on, not always from projects. Nate is a wellspring of insane stories from his checkered past, so you can
just
count
a little
on some
bit.
of those.
And I think what's really fun for me is when we do talk about sort of the pain points and the traditional approaches that are failing, we're also talking about what will work.
Yeah.
So what should people expect, Albert?
Well, they should expect interesting topics, short episodes, usually around 30 to 40 minutes. Which
very consumable.
Very consumable. Yep. So we cover a wide variety of topics. They all intersect with capital project planning and risk in some way.
What kind of topics?
Well, we've got episodes on data centers, on AI, on the impact of uncertainty in capital project planning. We talk about the establishment of new PMOs and how they differ from their historical counterparts. We talk about most recently we talked about tariffs on an episode.
That's right.
We both attended Mine Expo earlier this year. Actually, it was last year, and put a pretty good episode together about that. That's our episode.
So much fun.
It was super
so much fun.
Mine Expo was a good
so
time.
much fun. Disneyland for adults,
it is.
I guess.
Mining Disneyland. Mining Disneyland is the title of episode 1. So go give that a look. But yeah, our format is more or less what you're hearing now. It's a conversation between me and my good buddy Nate. We start with a quick story. Usually Nate tells an engaging story from his, as I said earlier, checkered past.
That's right.
Then we move into the topic. We talk to each other about what's going on in capital projects as it pertains to our topic for the month. And then we end with a piece of advice where I draw from research and personal experience and our clients' heavily anonymized experience to deliver some advice to any planners out there looking to do whatever we were talking about just a little bit better. And of course, we are always looking for new topics.
Yep.
So we'd be happy to hear from you guys about things you want to hear.
Yeah, that's right. We hope you'll tune in. Give us a subscribe. We're available on your favorite platform, your favorite podcast.
We're probably also available on your least favorite platform.
Also there as well. I don't know which one that is, but for Albert, it's Apple.
That's right.
So give us a subscribe. As Albert said, if you have any ideas on topics you'd like to hear us unpack and opinions that you'd like Albert to opine on, then shoot us a note.
And we can be found very, very easily on LinkedIn. Both of us can.
That's right. And at riskyplanner.com. unrealistic.com and dokanish.com as well.
That's it.
That's it.
Hit that subscribe button and give us a listen, because I think it's worth your time and you'll enjoy it. So let us know what you think.
You will. You will. That's a guarantee.
Or else.
Or else. Thanks for listening, y'all.
Thank you very much, Nate.
Thanks, Albert. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to the Risky Planner podcast. We hope today's conversation was informative and above all else inspires you to excellence in what you do. If you like today's episode, don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps us reach more listeners just like you. I'd also like to thank Thompson Igbo for letting us use his excellent music on our show. If you like what you hear, check him out at igbomusic.com. That's EGBO music.com. Talk at you later.